Motive and opportunity to do ministry. I was talking with, texting back and forth with a person I've known a long time, and she is wheelchair bound, and she's in an extended care facility. But she's in an extended care facility where she knows about half of the people there from church because it's an Episcopal center where she is. And she's got many problems, but her brain is not one of them. And so she was trying to figure out what to do with herself. And it turns out that a number of people in this situation were in their last particular moments in life. And so she took herself to them. She knew them, and there was no family there, so she simply held their hands, and if they talked, she would talk to them. But mostly she just created a presence. Well, as she and I texted back and forth, I said, well, you know, you've got a ministry there, whether you realize it or not. I mean, you have motive and opportunity. Motive, you know these people. Motive, you are a minister. And opportunity, nobody else is there. So you're doing a privileged ministry, a chaplaincy. You have motive and opportunity to do ministry. She said, yes, it oddly feels like a calling. And I said, well, it's not odd at all. It is a calling. I am, actually, this is coming up as my last Sunday. As I have looked at my tapes, my videos of the services that I've been doing over the last, 6 months or so, I realized I need a break. I need to take some time off and pull back a little bit and refresh. I won't be serving the same congregation that I've served for a number of years, but that'll be good for them and good for me. So motive and opportunity, what do I do in the meantime? Well, I've provided time at the food pantry at my local congregation, and I'm retired, so I have income, so I don't really require work at this point, luckily. Although I will lose some income from the congregation I was serving, which is, different, but that's okay. It has been suggested that I could do supply, but I think I'll give it a rest for a little while and kind of recharge the batteries and want to fully get part of that. But then I'm looking around. I have opportunity, and my motive is to refresh and bless, be blessed and bless. So thinking about ministry as motive and opportunity, I think is a good thing. In my life as a priest, I often had times when people sort of said, no, go away, don't bother me. And I have gently, but sort of firmly moved myself into their, that area that we have distance between each other. And I've come right up to that distance and and just hung around. I call it creative meddling. I'm not actually meddling because I'm not going to do anything, but what I have until, and I'm sure that there's something to do. I take a chaplaincy approach to this, which is that it is not my agenda, but it's the agenda of the person that I'm with. When we're in extremis, when we've had a death or a trauma of some kind, we are in extremis, and we don't really need somebody else pestering us. Oh, can I bring you a hot dish? Can I do this? Can I do that? You don't want to think about those things. You're dealing with the trauma, or you're dealing with the death, or you're dealing with whatever it was. It might even be a national thing like 9/11. But a certain amount of creative meddling might be another way of dealing with ministry. You might have even been specifically invited to butt out, but providing a presence says to the person, first of all, you're not going to drive me away with that, but I'm not going to put myself upon you either. I'm here. I've entered right up to your, all of us have a boundary, personal space. I have not entered your personal space, but I have entered your life. And at some point you may or may not need me. I remember a great story by one of the greater lights of the World War II generation was talking about. He went to visit a friend at Riverside Church in New York, and Riverside Church has always been a pretty progressive, liberal church. And these two fellows were business people. They were very conservative and definitely took their lead from the Wall Street Journal. Anyway, they sat through the service, and at the end of the service, the friend who was visiting said, "How can you take this guy? He's way off the chart liberal." And this was before the days of our sort of bifurcation. And he said, "Well," he said, "when my wife died, we were at the house, and I decided I need to get away from people, and so I got up and I went out and I invited them all to stay. But he did not stay. He followed me. Now, he did not enter my space. He followed me. His presence said, I'll be of help if you want, and if not, I'm just watching over you. And I went out, and I went to the park, and I went here, and I went there, and he followed me. At the end of it, I turned around and came to him, and I appreciate that presence. Here's a busy guy with a big church, and here I was with the death of my beloved wife, and he was simply present. He didn't insist on me doing anything. He wasn't trying to annoy me. He wasn't entering my space, really. He was just making sure I was okay. And I have never appreciated anything more in my life, both for the fact that he did not insist that um, I use him for some particular reason, and also because he just simply was present, didn't say a word. And so that guy and I, we're bonded. He can say anything he wants to from the pulpit as far as I'm concerned. It has nothing to do with that. It has the fact that we have connected on the human level. So, motive and opportunity. Look around your life. You may think there are things you cannot do because of your mounting disabilities as you get older, because as we get older, we get more and more disabilities. It's just part of life. And yet, here was my friend, longtime friend, who's in a wheelchair and who has numerous times come back from death. But she's in a setting where she knows a lot of the people, and even the ones she doesn't know, she's that kind of person that gets to know them. And she simply goes and is a presence for them. Motive and opportunity. We just need to look around our life and be motivated by the call of Jesus to do ministry where we are, with who we are, in whatever condition we're in and they're in. And that probably the most powerful thing, two most powerful things, is presence, simply being there, and listening. Not really injecting ourselves at all, but letting one's agenda be that person's agenda, because they're the one in need, if you will. Okay, motive and opportunity. Try it out.